Sawadika, welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today we are going down south again to my roots and we are gonna make their southern style Thai barbecue chicken calledกอและ Now, I grew up with this stuff and I didn't know that it was a southern thing until I left and I was unable to find this chicken anywhere. So this is chicken that is marinated, triple grilled and double basted. Now if you're wondering, what? Just hang with me, watch the video. It's a technique that creates a brilliant, delicious grilled chicken like you've never had before. Let's get started. So I'm going to start with a simple curry paste that's going to double as the marinade and the glaze on our chicken. Now, we really need a bright red color for this. The color is an iconic feature of this dish, so we need to have a lot of chilies. So if you don't eat spicy, make sure you use some mild ones like what I've got here. Okay, so I'm using some guajillos and I'm using some spicier dried chilies as well for some heat. So I'm going to just cut these down into small pieces. And then I'm gonna grind all of these up into my coffee grinder here. Make sure you let that settle before you open. You don't want to inhale chili powder. Ta-da! So I got a few more spices. I got some coriander seeds and some cumin seeds that I've toasted. So I'm just gonna grind these up first. And yes, you totally could have put these in with the chilies, but oh well. Oh, that smells good. And then I'm gonna add my garlic and some shallots. Lots of garlic, lots of shallots. It's gonna be the bulk of our paste here. And you're just getting this down to a paste. And yes, you can use a blender if you'd like. I'm just going old school for a change. So once all the juices start coming out, I'm gonna add my dry spices now because it's gonna help add some friction. It'll be easier. It's not sliding and slipping as much. So my cinnamon, and the dried chilies. And I'll just add half at a time. And that's it. With the paste, I'm going to make almost like a curry sauce. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil here and in goes the paste that we just made. Bloop. And I'm gonna saute that until it's sizzling in the oil. And if the paste is starting to stick to the bottom, I'm gonna deglaze just a little bit with some coconut milk. I still wanna give it a little more time to saute. Oh, that smells so good now. And that is your cue to go in with the rest of the coconut milk. Yes, this looks very much like making a standard Thai curry. Now I'm also gonna add some water and some seasoning. I've got some salt going in. Yes, there's no fish sauce in this recipe, although you can add some fish sauce. But traditionally, people tend to use salt instead. Palm sugar. I'm adding quite a bit of palm sugar here because this is sort of like a salty, sweet marinade. And to balance all that, I'm also going to add some tamarind, okay? Just to add a touch of acidity. It shouldn't taste sour overall, but that's just there to brighten everything up. And finally, this is kind of optional. This is fermented shrimp paste. Now, I say it's optional, but I want to add it in because shrimp paste is an ingredient that's used a lot in Southern Thai cuisine. And so, you know, to stay true to the spirit of Southern food. But if you don't have it, you can opt for putting fish sauce in instead of salt. So at least you still get that umami funk from somewhere. So now I'm gonna let this simmer for about 15-20 minutes. I'm gonna let it reduce until it becomes thick and luscious and saucy. Yes, this is exactly what you're going for. It should be nice and thick and luscious, but when you pour it, it should still run pretty freely. So with this now, some of this I'm gonna use as a chicken marinade and the rest I'm gonna keep as the glaze. Okay, so I'm gonna take out whatever I'm gonna use as a marinade. And I'm gonna add just a little bit more salt to the marinade because this glaze will get concentrated and dried up on the chicken. So it will become sufficiently salty, but that just needs a little bit of a kick. All right, let's deal with the chicken. So traditionally, these chickens are not skewered, but clammed in between these two bamboo sticks, but that's complicated. So we're gonna just good old skewer these things. So I've got here a mix of chicken breast and thigh. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am cooking with breasts for a change. And actually, this is one of the few recipes that I actually like chicken breast with. So you want these to be big chunks-ish, okay? At least an inch to an inch and a half. You don't want these too small because remember, we're going to triple grill these. So anything small has a higher likelihood of drying out, okay? I am going to add my cooled marinade. Oh, that looks so good already. Okay. Give that at least a half an hour. Overnight would be even better. And then the rest of the sauce, which is going to be our glaze, you want to also let this chill in the fridge as well. So the chicken is well marinated. Now we're going to skewer them. To prevent the skewers from burning, which is a real issue, you either want to soak the skewers in water, or if you're like me and you always forget, don't worry, all you have to do is wrap the little exposed ends in foil and then your problem is solved. Sometimes I don't even bother soaking anymore, I just wrap them. And I like to have a mix of breast and thigh in one skewers, but if you've got picky eaters who only want breasts or only want thighs, then, you know, skewer accordingly. And then I'm gonna place mine on this rack here. Because I'm actually gonna grill these under my oven broiler, you can also do it on your outside grill if you'd like. And I just line the bottom with foil so cleanup is easier. And also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour some water underneath so that as these broil, I don't have burnt bits at the bottom and, you know, setting off the smoke alarm. That's just bad news, okay? It's time to grill. And this is the part where it is admittedly a lot of work, but trust me, it is so worth it. So we're gonna grill this chicken 3 times. The first time, just to cook it off until the meat is done, I'm doing it under the broiler, 4 to 5 inches away, about 4 minutes per side. So the chicken's out. Now these are just cooked at this point. Now before we stick them back in the grill again, we need to let this cool to ideally room temperature, because if you put them back while they're so hot, then they're just gonna end up overcooking, right? So if you have a fan, just put a fan to it so it cools down quickly. I know it's a lot of work, but trust me, it's better than overcooked chicken, yeah? Okay, so once these have cooled, you're going to do what makes this recipe so awesome, is put the glaze on them. All over this chicken. You just know it's gonna be good. And then when this goes again under the grill, we're basically just drying off the glaze and making it stick into the sticky, delicious mess on the chicken. And make sure you shake off as much excess as possible first. On the street, they'll have this massive bucket of sauce and they just dip the whole skewer in. So it'll be much faster. So this is gonna go under the broiler again, about 3 minutes per side until the marinade is dry and bubbly and sticky. You'll know it when you see it. And one thing I am going to do this time is I'm not gonna close the oven because I just want the radiant heat to dry out the top. I don't want heat in the oven to accumulate and start baking the chicken all over again. Check out these chickens. So as you can see, the glaze is sort of like dried onto the chicken. A little bit of charred bits is exactly what you're looking for. I've done these on both sides. Now with this recipe, I made sure that you have just enough sauce for 2 bastings, okay? Because I didn't want you guys to end up with any sauce that you have to throw away, because that is just wrong. This stuff is too good. So in the second round, if you find that you're running low and you don't think you're gonna have enough to go around, just thin it out with a little bit of water, because all that means is your sauce is a little thick and you've put on an extra thick coating the first time around. So now, let this cool and we'll do it all over again. Look at these. Oh my God. Now you want to make sure you let these cool a little bit before you eat, because that glaze gets hot. You do not want to burn yourself. Now the great thing about this chicken is it needs no sauce, no dipping sauce, no nothing, because the sauce is self-contained. Oh, that smells so delicious. I have no words. Like it's unlike any other kinds of barbecue chicken you will have ever had. That glaze is rich and thick and sticky. The coconut flavor really comes through. it's magical. It's magical chicken. And yes, I admit that this is not a recipe that I will claim is easy or like a breeze. It's not quick. It's definitely something you gotta put some time and effort into, but I can tell you it is so well worth it. You will not have had any kind of chicken like this anywhere. And if you've had this chicken in Thailand, you know I'm right. You know what I'm talking about. And so to give you a slight comparison, this glaze has an air of a rich peanut sauce, but there's no peanuts in it, but it has that same kind of effect. Ah, so good. So the recipe, as always, will be on hotthaikitchen.com. When you make this, I definitely want to see a photo, so send it to me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And if you haven't subscribed to the show, make sure that you do so you don't miss an awesome recipe like this. And when you do, make sure you click that little bell icon so you get a notification when I post a new video. And if you love the show and you want to support us, check us out on Patreon. The link is in the description box below. And I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.